What protocol? Just pack up and leave. Close friend recalls say Vajpayee had to exit 7. RCR. A longtime friend, Godrej is coping with the loss by immersing himself into his literary works on Vajpayee. Sitting in his Haley Road residence, Godrej remembers that it was just after the RCR summit that Vajpayee had visited Lahore. Loading. New Delhi, as the nation mourns the demise of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee, one man who is close to the statesman is lost in his books. Godrej, a regular visitor at Vajpayee home for the last 4 years, did not attend the state funeral accorded to the former PM at Smriti Stall on Friday. There were close to 5 lakh people there. I would have been lost, says the octogenarian. Well, Vajpayee, would not have met this fate if he had agreed for the CT scan, but refused to enter into that DEBA CT scan machine, he says with affectionate authority only someone close to Vajpayee can. A longtime friend, Godrej is coping with the loss by immersing himself into his literary works on Vajpayee. Sitting in his Haley Road residence, Godrej remembers that it was just after the RCR summit that Vajpayee had visited Lahore. Both Nawaz Sharif and Benazir Bhutto always said that India's relations with Pakistan was at its best when Atalji was the foreign minister. In fact, Nawaz Sharif had told Atalji that he could win from any constituency in Pakistan, says Godrej. He says that any time he visited Pakistan, he would always be asked about Atal Bihari Vajpayee and his well-being. When the Janata government was in power, Atalji said to me that, if I had 5 years, I would have transformed and normalized relations with China and Pakistan, recalls Godrej. Godrej first met Vajpayee in 1957 and got a regular pass made to attend all of Vajpayee's speeches. I never missed any of his speeches. Though I was 13 years his junior, he treated me as a confidant and friend. The two were so close that Morarji Desai had once called Godrej Vajpayee's follower, when the latter stayed at Godrej's Washington apartment for a day while visiting the U.S. to witness the 1960 presidential elections. With the recent spike in incidents of attacks on minorities and Dalits, would have Vajpayee handled the issue differently than Prime Minister Narendra Modi? Though Godrej believes times have changed and nothing can be said, the former vice chairman of the Law Commission says the lines of religion often became prominent whenever there were conflicts or riots. Vajpayee once told me that on the one hand we say Hindus and Muslims are equal. But when riots take place, you count how many Muslims were killed and how many Hindus were killed. Jo B. Marda Hai Wo Bharatiya Hoda Hain, whoever dies is an Indian, said Godrej. One thing that reaffirmed Godrej's impression of Vajpayee being the most humble and yet firm man, it was Vajpayee's interaction with then Pakistan military ruler Pervez Musharraf right after the Kargil War. After Kargil, Vajpayee had even extended a hand of friendship to Musharraf. He also told Musharraf, please take care of your health. It was just after that an assassination attempt was made on Musharraf, Godrej said. Senior advocate Godrej, who now handles few select cases in the Supreme Court, recollects that it was he who drafted the Armed Forces Appellate Tribunal bill at the insistence of Vajpayee and that Atalji was the man who brought in several constitutional amendment bills. He wanted the death penalty to be implemented in a more humane manner and hence moved a constitutional amendment bill, but it did not see the light of the day. He had prepared innumerable bills. After the IC Galaknath case, he moved an amendment bill post the verdict. Then Law Minister H.R. Bhardwaj asked him to withdraw the death penalty bill, but he refused. Vajpayee also moved a bill for reservation for the blind, says Godrej, who has also edited a book that deals specifically with the bills brought in by Vajpayee. But one thing that distinguished Vajpayee from the other parliamentarians was that he never jumped into the well of the House, says Godrej. He strongly believed that Parliament must always go on. Rather than taking part in the protests, he said politicians enjoyed disruptions as it allowed them to evade the crucial question hour, says Godrej, who spent a marathon 200 hours with Vajpayee at his residence editing and proofreading a 2,000-page book on Vajpayee's life as a parliamentarian. The work has been published in 4 volumes. The biggest political setback Vajpayee suffered was losing the no-confidence motion by 1 vote. Recollecting an episode from that evening, Godrej remembers Vajpayee's personal secretary talking down a plan to vacate the 7 Racecourse Road bungalow. The personal secretary was telling Atalji that he would soon find out the protocol for leaving the Racecourse Road residence. But Atalji said, "What is the need for protocol? Just pack your bags and leave," says Godrej. But did Vajpayee ever want to return to active politics? Godrej replies with a hard no. "After demitting office, he spoke to me. Atalji told me, I have served the country for 50 years and now I want to retire." When Manmohan Singh, after signing the nuclear deal in 2008, went to Vajpayee, he said, "I have completed the work you started." Atalji kept quiet. Manmohan said, "Bishmapidama, now say something," but Vajpayee kept quiet, says Godrej. If there was one thing Godrej thought could cause trouble to his friend, it was Vajpayee's association with him. The first signs were visible when he was asked to resign as vice chairman of the Law Commission, then headed by Justice M. Jagannatha Rao. "When I resigned from the Law Commission as vice chairman, Atalji told me should I talk to then Law Minister Bharadwaj. I told him not to involve in such petty matters. But he always told me, Jahan pe tumhara naam ata hain, mera naam bhi kisha jata hai, my name is dragged along with yours," Godrej says, his eyes welling up with tears. Related stories. Atalji knew his time had come, says Vajpayee's shadow for last 50 years, was my closest friend for 65 years, miss him. Advani on Vajpayee's demissa. Vajpayee was people's leader, but on 5 issues he didn't agree with RSS, Govindacharya.